you're making 10 times as much money, literally, by doing that as you are with a 2% conversion rate. Hey guys, Steve here from Grounded Agency. Today I want to show you something pretty high level about the different types of marketing and why only one of them work. You know, there's 3 different approaches you can take. You can take marketing, you can do A/B testing, and you can do sprint testing. And I'm going to really quickly walk you through the differences here. Marketing is what 90+% of the market actually does, and that's so they come up with an idea. They say, hey, this is going to be a great idea, let's do this. So they launch a new ad, they launch a new funnel, they launch a new tool, promo, blog post, YouTube video, whatever. You know, there's tons of gurus selling this kind of stuff out there, and some of it works, most of it doesn't. You never really actually know why something works or something doesn't, and ultimately the fix is that you just keep making more and more and more. It's very expensive, it's very time consuming. 2% of what the average person clicks on actually turns into a sale or a conversion. Not even a sale, just a conversion. Just even like if you're giving away a free thing, I want to download that free thing, like only 2% of it actually works. So obviously that's a very difficult approach. We don't want to do that. So A/B testing is one step better. So A/B testing is you have one asset that actually, hopefully it's working pretty decent when you start this process. And you take, variant A and you take variant B and you run them side by side. And ideally, hopefully you're trying to isolate some variables, but honestly, most people don't even know what that means. And so they just run 2 completely different things. Maybe they're similar and they try to, get to a result. Hopefully it doesn't take you for too long, because this can be very, very expensive and very time consuming as well. It's what honestly, lots of marketers take this approach, but it's not really that great of an approach, because usually they're running it to something like 200 clicks, which is, it's a long time. That's a lot of money to get to 200 clicks. So a little bit more of the problem: you launch a test, you wait for traffic, you run for significance, it could be like 6 weeks or more. And then maybe you get a winner, maybe you get an improvement, maybe you actually get a decrease. Quite often you'll run A/B testing and you get a decrease, and that's very expensive. Approach number 3 is sprint testing. This is what we do. This is literally all we specialize in. This is what, all the big companies out there. There's so much more than what's on that list, but obviously those are some recognizable brands. And so the idea is that you're really quickly testing isolated variables, and by identifying what the winning variable is, then you can stack on top of that. A/B testing plus agility equals sprint testing. And agility means that you're just being really quick, you're iterating rapidly, you're expecting a lot of what you're testing to not work, and that's actually good, because that's data that you can use so that you don't compound those mistakes down the road. You're only trying to compound your winners. And so, over a period of time, I'm not really sure why this is a little bit fuzzy, but your marketing approach, you're likely going to stay in this 2% range. And by stacking your small wins and compounding over a period of time, by month 6 you can be at 20% or better. Like our average landing page right now is converting around 20%, and obviously you're making 10 times as much money, literally, by doing that as you are with a 2% conversion rate. Side by side, when you're looking at marketing, obviously you're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what's going to work. A/B testing, you're being a little bit more intentional about that, but still very long learning curve, very expensive. And then sprint testing, you're being as quick as you can, you're iterating rapidly, and you're just completely okay with things failing, because you're going to get to a better result here very quickly. The way that we do this, there's 3 phases. So we run it in an ad. I'll show you real quick what that kind of looks like. So we break down the 6 variables of an ad, and then we test each one at length. It takes about a month to do that. And then we do the exact same thing for a landing page, where we, guarantee a 12% conversion. And then we'll get you to a booking page where you start getting consistent book calls. What the conversion rate is on those. We aim for 10% on the booking page, but sometimes it's not quite that high. However, we also are working towards a budget on that point. So those are guaranteed results. So I'll just show you real quick what this actually looks like in practice. I will make this very fast. So when we're testing the ads, this is the foundation. We're testing the pain points, and this was a customer that was starting right at zero, so they had no previous knowledge of what they're doing. And we are testing and testing and testing. This one we tested 60 variables, and each variable is an isolated variable. And then I'll just show you real quick what that looked like in their ads manager, just so you can see practically what that looks like. We're literally testing individual pieces to start out, and then we go into, we start stacking those details on top of it. So we'll start by testing pain points, because that's the foundation of everything else. You really want to know, like, why is your customer buying for it? So, in order to test a pain point, these guys are selling to home builders. So, they want true or false. Every time I've tried a new product, it's been a headache on the job site. That's a real pain point. It's also a single pain point. So, is testing new products been historically a problem on job sites, right? I'll give you one more just so that you have a little bit more context here. I'm too busy to deal with fighting my crews on new methods, right? So that's like internal resistance. So you get the idea. So we test each individual variable, and then once we get the pain points proven, then we go on to test headlines, then we go on to test images. So literally like individual images to start. We'll turn these into videos once we get them proven as images, but we start with images, and then we run this through. As you can see, a series of tests. It's isolating every single variable. We run the initial tests to 400 impressions. You can see we spent $7.95 on this test, and we've got a click-through rate of 4.23, that's a home run. Like, we know that image is proven, it's going to work. We're going to use that all over our marketing. So we take that data and then we run it to a landing page, and real quick on the landing page here, same type of idea, and we're testing variables, and you can see this is active. Like, we're running these landing pages at 15-17%. These guys are getting $8 leads, and their average transactions like $100,000. So anyways, I'm gonna end it there. Hope that's informative, and any questions, let me know. Thanks.